someone's love is on the line or your love is on the line, something's on the line, and we already know there's crossing lines, crossing boundaries, playing it too safe or playing into it too much. Like there's a lot of different things that play with this connection and play with this situation and play with your feelings, play with your emotions. There's a lot of things that, you know, it's like you want to improve on, you want to get better, you want things to get better, but you also know that there's just like a stuck point, or like you're stuck in the middle. Like you just don't know how you might go about the lovers, how you might go about loving someone and also loving yourself. That is what you're confused on. The devil in the upright everything can have, you know, intimacy and like a physical form of love. Like everybody can have that, right? Everyone could have their own visual perspective of love, but if you don't know what love is, it takes you sometimes decades, sometimes years to expand even on the idea of being in a commitment, being in a long-term commitment, a marriage, you know, having children. Committing to someone truly can take decades. And that's really where we're at right now with this type of energy. Is Nine of Wands. It's like, why is it that this person can commit to me on certain things? Like they can commit to me on a physical level, they can commit to me on being there physically, but they're never there emotionally. And this could be also be how your person feels, right, collective? We have Queen of Pentacles in the upright. They can commit to me on a monetary level, but they can never be there with me emotionally. They can never make me feel good. They can never make me feel beautiful. It leaves me feeling abandoned. It leaves me feeling like crowded in my head, where like I just can't stop. Like I just don't know if I'm enough for this individual. And it's like Five of Swords in the reverse. I also don't want to be too much on this individual. But that's like kind of double standarding it up. I really truly feel like if you tell someone, the Empress in the reverse, if you stop acting like, you know, this is weak or this is like femininity or vulnerability. Like we always pair the emotions with the feminine. So it's not, this is not weak. This is vulnerability. Okay, it should not be viewed as a weakness, right? It should be viewed most of all as like a strength in a way, right? Queen of Wands is like repetition. Queen of Wands is like the same type of relationship, the same type of shit. It's all the same as before, or nothing ever really changes because both of us are too stubborn. Both of us we can never really come to an agreement on nothing. It feels like we're trapped in a crowded room, though it's just the two of us, right? Knight of Pentacles, you know, that could mean many things, by the way. That can mean like you maybe have asked people about the situation, or you've asked for advice, or you looked around, you know what I mean, and it feels like you've tried everything, or you're trying to try everything. Knight of Pentacles in the upright is just another way of saying like I won't give up. You know, if anything, I can try to push past the emotional aspect and just not give up on this situation. Like I have all of this invested. Seven of Cups is like I have invested so much into something that feels like it's always crumbling, right? It's like every single time I reach my hand out, it crumbles. Every single time, I know, it feels like my hand is bitten, right? Every time I reach out and try to give something to someone, they always bite the hand that feeds them. And then like that's our ego part on your part, right? Because it's like you're reaching out and you're giving someone love, you're giving someone affection with the idea in your head that it will gain you that back in return. But that is still someone's choice. So even though like it might, they are an asshole at the end of the day, they are a piece of shit, and they might treat you some type of way, they might treat you horribly. You got to realize that it's you that sticks around for that type of behavior. It's you that says yes to that type of behavior. It's you who allows the hurt or the pain to happen. It's you who swallows that and continues to move on, thinking that this relationship is a game. You know what I mean? It's like this relationship is like mental gymnastics, and you should not be having to try that hard to make something work if both of you both have each other's best interests, right? Because even if there is difficulties, like for example, I'll throw addiction out there. I'll throw addiction or cheating or whatever. If there's issues in that way, if somebody's not seeking out the help, if someone's not willing to seek out the help, if you only one person in the relationship is willing to do what needs to be done on both sides, Ten of Pentacles, how can this game ever end? right? Because one person is always going to be on top of the other person. One person is always going to be ahead of the other person. One person is always going to feel like they're being, almost like made fun of, neglected, abused. One person's always going to feel like the underdog. And once you feel like the underdog, once you feel like you're being disrespected, then you either fight with them or you fight with yourself. And it's constant back and forth between that. Four of Wands is constant, like you don't feel safe, you don't feel at home with this person, you don't feel comfortable with this person, you also don't feel comfortable with sharing anything with this individual. Two of Wands, even though, like I said, there's two people in the motherfucking room, why can't you communicate? It's not like everyone else is going to hear about this or everyone else is going to hear you. Two of Cups, you worry so much about this person going to other people for emotional help or emotional support, or you worry so much about being exposed. I feel like this is a big thing with, like, this might not be you, this could be a partner, but this is a big thing about, like, I don't want to have my emotions exposed, or I don't want to have my bad behavior exposed. Like, I'm scared of that because I'm afraid of being a bad person, or I'm afraid of being loyal. I'm afraid of being exposed as an unloyal, unjust person, like a fucked up person, Chariot in the upright. Yeah, I'm afraid of the truth. Essentially, the truth is what sets you free with the Chariot. The truth of knowing who you are is what sets you free. But the Hierophant in the reverse, you can never really admit to the fact that, all these things are going wrong and you don't know how to solve them. You don't know how to get help for them. It takes a lot to admit that you need help or to go after help, right? Page of Pentacles, but one person will always remain stuck because they don't necessarily understand the gravity of what you're saying. They don't understand their own self-value. They don't look at themselves and think, I deserve love, and I am loved. They don't look at themselves like that. They always look at themselves as the victim. They always look at themselves as the person that, it has never had anything. I never had shit, never needed shit type shit. It's like it's a very single mindset, very individualistic mindset. And nobody can break out of that mindset until they, first of all, ask for help, right? And secondly, when they finally break through and say that they are not in the right mental space for a relationship, right? Or if they are in this mental space where they want this, then they try really, really hard to achieve, right? To make things work. Because essentially, King of Swords, by maintaining the same behaviors and not really changing anything and not talking about it, not communicating about anything, you're only enabling. You're only falling in line with the type of behaviors that you hate the most, which is you hate to be ignored, you hate to be controlled, you hate to be abandoned, you hate to be hurt by something someone said, you hate someone yelling in your face, you hate all the anger, you hate all this, but you're literally enabling the exact behavior, you're enjoying, you're rolling in, basking in the exact behavior that you hate, because you're allowing this person to go under the radar, or you're allowing yourself to go under the radar and continue to act out of fear of loss, out of fear of everything, out of fear of even being alive in some aspects. Is like fear of recognition, fear of recognizing your own faulties, right? And this is never almost acknowledging that you're a person too, you're a human too, you're vulnerable too. Like, you're not just somebody out there that, you kind of just floating by, or a ghost in the back corner type shit. You shouldn't try to seek out extra things to not feel empty. Like extra things as in a addiction, extra things as in cheating, extra things as in lying or gambling, or you shouldn't be seeking out that type of fucking thing. Though there's nothing wrong with a hobby, you shouldn't be using your hobby as an excuse in order to avoid conversations that need to be had with your partner. So that's what's going on, y'all. Like, a lot of it is conversations that need to be had, right? You need to either take your stuff, pack your stuff, and leave a situation after having a conversation with a person. Because obviously the decision's already been made, I think, in most of y'all's mind, and collective's mind has already been made up. You've gotten to this point so many times. The point where it's like, oh my God, this person just did exactly what I said not to do when I said I would leave them. I told them before I would leave them. I already gave them that ultimatum, and they just did it a fucking again. You now have to decide. on whether it's right to move forward or not. You have to be that powerful person. Essentially, you are the only person in the connection that is self-aware. So you have to be the deciding factor. Is this right for me? Right? And you have to ask that question over and over again. Do I continue to put up with this? Is this right for me? And a lot of the time you'll find that the answer is absolutely fucking not. Okay? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's no excuse for this type of behavior. There's no excuse of someone making you feel this way. Right? It's laziness. It's someone evading and avoiding their emotions, though their emotions might be strong. Their emotions should never be stronger than their love. Their love of themselves, the love of, their kids, the love of their partner. It should never be stronger than that. But a lot of people don't have that self-awareness and self-consciousness that you have, though, baby. So you got to just keep that in mind. Now is the time, right? Now is the time. Stay or go.